What's up, everyone? I'm designing a game. In this video, I want to talk about where I'm at in the design stages of the board game that I'm currently working on. And like most designers, I spend a lot of time scribbling and jotting down a lot of the notes that I have for the game design ideas. This book, this Field Notes book, not sponsored. It's filled with a lot of things that I keep note of in terms of mechanisms that come to my brain, components that I find the most tangibly satisfying, and overall theme ideas that I think are really cool to explore. Now, I want to be very clear. The game that I'm designing is very simple. I'm starting with low-level complexity games, and I don't want you to get the wrong idea that I'm aiming for a Scythe-level game in this first run. There's a lot of ideas that pop into my head in terms of games that I could pursue designing, but the games that I'm starting out with this channel are relatively lower complexity but high-impact games. But I'm also pulling ideas from Euro games, worker placement games, dice rolling, tile laying. There's a lot of elements that are inspiring me to create an ensemble of mechanisms and rules for this current game that I'm working on. In this video, I just want to show you where I am summer of 2020. But I will be showing you the prototypes of the board, the components, and other elements that I've already fleshed out, as well as the genres and specific games that have inspired me to create this game. Lately, I've been obsessed with hex tiles. The board itself that I'm working on is generally a hex tile laying system. It's an exploration game. You know that feeling whenever you're playing Tapestry, where you draw a tile or you have tiles in your hand and you finally get to lay it down as you're exploring the board, and you feel so excited to lay it down and try to match the sides to other sides of tiles. It's the best. Well, that's generally the central idea that I've started with for this game. I wanted to design an exploration game that you actually lay down tiles, possibly match the sides to other tiles that are currently already on the board, and then move your piece across the board to explore, in some way gain points and find resolution towards the end of the game. That's where I am, but there's still a lot to be thought about in this game. I'm only still in the beginning stages. But let's start with the theme. Have you played the game Discover Lands Unknown? Yeah, me neither. The reason why I haven't played it is because I've seen too many reviews on the game that basically render it an incomplete feeling of exploration. Now, there's a system in the game where you're landing on specific places and a deck that you're going through as you're discovering new things. So the deck of cards allow you to tell that story of what you're encountering through the exploration to find out what you're discovering. Now, this game has a great theme to it. Discover Lands Unknown, an exploration game that could fit a lot of mechanisms. But here's the good and the bad of this game that I'm trying to learn from. A few things that really work for the game are: one, the theme. The theme is great. Discovering new territories, going beyond into a new frontier, and ultimately discovering something about yourself and something amazing out there in the world that has yet to be found. Another thing that's really good about the game is the characters. You draw specific character cards to begin the game, and that is the player lens that you're thinking through. And as you see the story unfold throughout the game, that is who you imagine you are in this universe of the board game. The next thing that's really good is this sense of discovery, the exploration part of the game. When you choose to move your character off the edge of one tile space, then you uncover and you flip another set of tiles that reveal specific locations or other creatures or people that you encounter in the game. Also, like I said, the adventure deck that you're drawing from that reveals the story and that gives you specific story beats as you progress through the game. Moving throughout the board and then also drawing from the adventure deck, those both combine to create a sense of wonder. And as a player who's sitting in their living room or their kitchen playing this game with other people at a table, you can imagine what it would be like to explore the mountains and spend stamina to get to the location all the way across the board that you really need to get to in order for the entire party to survive. Those are elements to the game and to the theme that make sense. Experiencing the lows and the highs of what exploring the wilderness would be like. I want to design a simpler game, something that can do more with less. I want to design a game that can capture that same sense of exploration, but do it with less mechanisms. A game where my character or myself are overcoming challenges, building resiliency, discovering things that really do startle or surprise me. A game that gives me that real sense of adventure. And yes, that is a hardy task for a board game to accomplish, but I think that is a very good goal to aim for whenever I'm trying to develop a theme and mechanisms to fit that feeling. Because that's what we're doing here. When we're developing board games, we're trying to design and facilitate a feeling. Back. As I keep talking about the theme, the most important thing about all of this is I believe that there is a game out there like the one that I'm talking about. And part of my mission as a designer is to find it. I assume this is similar for other board game designers. I have this blurry imagination of what this board game could be like in my head. And however, what's in front of me now is pushing through that blurriness to find the exact gameplay, the exact mechanisms, and that feeling that's in my imagination. Okay, let's start talking more specifically about the theme ideas that I have. The real conceptualization of what this board game theme could be like. Now, similar to Discover Lands Unknown, I want to find a theme that is generally based on real life, where people can go out into the real life mountains of Colorado and explore and camp. So that's generally like the concept that I may be aiming for. I don't want this to be a fantasy realm exploration game. I don't want swords or shields. I want it to be more trekking and open landscape and camping under the stars. I want it to be less Skyrim and more Indiana Jones. And let it be less about epic quests and more about the innocent curiosity of climbing a tree. As you're watching me brainstorm the theme ideas, the conceptualization of what this board game could look like and feel like, I'm world building in my mind. I'm making up things that would represent the universe that I have in mind for this board game. Similar to what a GM would do in creating a world for their friends to explore. And like I said, by creating this world, I am creating a framework that I will base my rules and mechanisms on. And now that I have a baseline, a starting point for this board game, which in this case is a theme, now I can start working on the things that you actually do in this game. What are those? We'll have to figure it out. If you have suggestions for this game, please post them down below. Give me some ideas for games that I can start looking into so that I can continue to inform myself of what this game I'm working on could look like. I know there's a lot of games out there that I haven't played before, and I need your help in learning from them. Second, send me some ideas of games that you're currently designing. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there currently making their own games, and there's game mechanics and rules and themes that you're already thinking about too that make you excited to develop a game. Send those my way, because I'd love to see them. And lastly, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.